Welcome you back to the Civic Center here in Belize City. What you're watching is a U17 exhibition game. U17 going up against a U17 All-Stars. We'll have the name for you momentarily, but this is just an exhibition game. In the first game that you saw, it was the U13 championship game, and in that game, Future Shock won over ABC Academy out of Chetumal, Quintana Roo, Mexico.
Yes, what was supposed to happen was it was supposed to be a U17 championship game against Third World versus the Alphas out of Chetumal, Quintana Roo. But Alphas had to attend a tournament in Playa del Carmen, and if they were to miss that game, they would have a 3-year ban. So to avoid being left out of their tournament in Mexico, they had to not be present here for this game, and the U17 All-Stars are filling in, and it's an official exhibition game. So this is no championship game, ladies and gentlemen.
I must say thanks for your investigation, Peter, and bringing out that information to our viewers here this afternoon. And so, in the interview with both coordinators saying that they had over 38 teams in this tournament for this year. When they first started out 5 years ago, it was only 8 teams. And so we have saw the growth of the Ahmadiyya Basketball League have grown into something very big here. And now it's something that the kids, they are looking forward to for 2019 already.
Yes, and as I said, you like when non-governmental organizations such as these steps up to the plate and take the onus on themselves to try and push youth sports in Belize. But with our own governmental bodies, they need to step up to the plate now. And yes, we are getting their facilities, but now we need the infrastructure in terms of our young players. We need to go and start finding players from as early as possible, because a lot of what we've been seeing with the third place game just a while ago, it didn't go on air, but in that game that we were watching, we were seeing a lot of flaws when it comes to our kids not having the fundamentals. But now with our coach Puller Lightburn, now he's teaching fundamentals, and the ABC Academy team out of Chetumal, you saw fundamentals as well. So you have to teach fundamentals as early as possible, because when these kids get older, it's going to be very hard to break them out of bad habits.
Excellent observation there by our play-by-play commentator, Peter Lacey.
My son is 7 years old, and we do fundamental drills every day. Sometimes he's asked me, "Daddy, this is boring." I said, it's going to get a lot better, but you have to get the fundamentals down. So it's fundamentals is all about discipline, and it's all about just try to put in that grind, because you're going to be better for it in the longer run.
Well, what we saw in the U13 championship game just a while ago, we saw fundamental on both sides of the court, talking about Future Shock and also ABC Academy, and that tells us that they're coached by somebody that had to be a part of basketball. And we know Clinton Puller Lightburn, when he came back from college in the United States, he came back and he started the Home Builders basketball team, and that was a very popular basketball team in the country of Belize at that time in the our basketball league.
Yes, and definitely, back then, he gave birth. Not sure if he's the official father of semi-pro basketball in Belize, but he's definitely one of those, founders, if you want to put it that way, that has pushed Belize to be one of those top nations in basketball in this region, at least. And even as I keep on saying, we're not in those FIBA rankings as we should, but we can definitely compete with the best of the best, and we've seen Belize beat top 25 teams in the world time and time again. It's just us not showing up to these tournaments consistently that has us not in these rankings.
How far back does your memory go to basketball in Belize? Because I could remember as a young kid growing up that Birdsall was the place then for basketball. You had teams like Wheels that was competing in those days. You have Grand Mania, and several other teams. I cannot remember all the names, but that Birdseye was a mecca of basketball in Belize City.
I go back as far as Penta Lakers, Raiders, of course. Then I really got into semi-pro basketball with the BTL Nets. You know, you had Shell One Stop out of Orange Walk. You know, so I believe it's not Wagia is the it was Abba Iseni from out of Dangriga as well. So those are the teams that I'm more familiar with.
Maria Chan.
Maria Chang used to push more. I think did they have was it just female or they had
it was
or they
a
had
Maria
male?
Chan male.
Okay,
That
okay.
At that time competed in our semi-pro league, but that was at the old Civic Center then.
Yes, because I know Maria Chang has pushed female sports. I know she used to have, you know, that nice company out of York Street used to have a female basketball league as well. And I know that we're talking now, they're in the making of pushing a female basketball national team. And they were asking my advice, who I think is, you know, who I think should be on that national team. And of course, you know, the first player that comes to my mind is Tracy Garnett. You know, she was so good for us. You know, she's a legend out of Wesley College, but she was so good she could have played with the boys as well. I think there was a tryout tournament that she almost made the WNBA, but she suffered an injury, and I'm not sure if she is in basketball shape again. But definitely Tracy Garnett was one of those players that I can remember, and if they could get her at least to have a presence to try and push female basketball in Belize, that would be a huge pickup for us as well. But Maria Chang, definitely one of the pioneers of female sports. I know female basketball league was pushed by Maria Chang. We see Simon Kwan pushing female volleyball as well in the country. So definitely, and we see football leagues as well for the women. So we just want to see more female sports as well, and big ups to all these companies, you know, pushing youth basketball, pushing female basketball and sports in general in Belize.
So it's a 14-5 ball game here with 12.3 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 9-point lead. And what we are watching on the floor right now are some future University of Belize players, Galen players, St. John's University players. And so some of these youths will be moving on to their respective university. As the quarter has come to an end, we'll get back to that when we come back from the flip side of the break. You're watching Ahmadiyya Basketball League on TNC. We will be right back.